Imagine having to travel far just to make a trip to the grocery store. Well, that's the reality for many in South Florida who are living out of the effects of redlining and gentrification. Caplin News reporter Elizabeth Salazar has more on the story.
Today, we're delving into the interconnecting issue of redlining and gentrification when it comes to the disparities of resources and shops between Miami's affluent and underserved communities. Redlining and gentrification has left a lasting imprint on Miami's neighborhoods. Economic disparities resulting from this practice contribute to a stark contrast in the availability of shops and businesses between wealthy and poorer areas. We spoke with Michael Hernandez, a current student attending FIU and also a resident of Miami, to see how he has observed redlining and gentrification within his community.
As a person living in these areas in Miami, I do see the effect of it in terms of just sourceability, stuff that's available on hand. But then in these certain areas, you find more junk food, you find more concentrated capitalistic items like Lay's and stuff like that, like more junk food. And then you go to like downtown Miami, where everywhere you go there's a Whole Foods, a Publix, and everything's all concentrated in areas, and they have multiple locations.
By USDA and US Census standards, many stretches of the city of Miami are dealing with low access to supermarkets, including parts of Overtown, Alapacha, Little Havana, Coconut Grove, and more. We talked to Dr. Howard Frank, a professor of public policy and administration at Florida International University, to give us a little bit more information about this.
Supermarkets are a very low profit margin business. You take my word for it. It isn't a big, you have to do huge volumes to make money. So I think there's some who would argue, can they get the Dollar Trees of the world, your dollar stores, to amp up their healthy food selections? Can you get a Dollar Tree to start offering more fresh food? Because now some of them offer frozen foods and stuff that you and I would probably say is not particularly healthy, and that may be the only hope. But there again, that's what it means when you're in a poor neighborhood and there isn't effective purchasing power.
Grassroots movements are advocating for inclusive economic development policies that promote the establishment of businesses in underserved neighborhoods. The intersection of redlining and gentrification raises critical questions about economic justice. As we continue to examine and shed light on this issue, the hope is that collaborative efforts between communities, businesses, and policymakers will lead to a more equal distribution of these resources and services across the city of Miami. Reporting from Caplin News, I'm Elizabeth Salazar.